Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to make a controversial statement that most people out there who write stuff in the fitness world say the opposite of, but it's something that I believe in. It's something I do with coaching, I do with my lifters, and it's a message I put out. We should compare ourselves to other people. Now, in this video, we're talking mainly about lifting, but this can apply to broader aspects of life. A competition breeds excellence. And society, I promise you, society is going to compare you to other people, whether you do or not. A man, for example, in society, you will be judged by how much money you make. The exceptions might be if you have something that is just an extremely successful career that is truly helpful to other people. You might be judged differently if you don't make as much money, in some cases. Because you have a career that is just extremely benevolent and helpful to people. Maybe you're a school teacher who works with special needs children and you don't make much money. You're still going to get a lot of respect for that in general from anyone who's not a complete asshole, right? People who are not complete assholes are actually going to respect you for that. However, outside of that, you will be socially ranked based upon your income and what you do for a living. That is the real world. That is the world that we live in. And that is how men do things. We rank ourselves in hierarchies. And you know what? We do our best in competition. Competition breeds excellence. And I'm going to say the same thing applies when we're talking about lifts. Now, this needs to be people who are in comparable echelons. In other words, when you're talking about comparing income, you don't compare yourselves to a billionaire. Okay? You don't compare yourselves to people who are beyond the top 1% unless you're in that echelon already. Okay? You don't compare yourselves to people 3 tiers above you because there's no competition there. Right? If you make $40,000 a year, shouldn't be comparing yourselves to someone who makes $50 million a year. Okay, obviously you can't compare yourselves. And likewise, when I make that statement, people they go to the silly, goofy extremes and they say, oh, you're saying everyone should compare themselves to Larry Wheels. No, I'm not. You should be comparing yourselves to your gym bros. Right? You should be looking around kind of online, getting an idea of other guys about your weight, your age range, see what they're lifting. Yeah, you should be comparing yourselves to them. And they don't have to be the top 10th of a percentile in powerlifting. But I think people would be surprised if you went to powerlifting meets. I think people would be surprised how weak compared to the internet most powerlifters are. Like everyone clowned me, for example, when I did some powerlifting meets a while back. They're like, oh, your lifts aren't that great. I'm like, I'm in the top 5%. I won my comps with lifts that are a lot weaker than I do now. In my 40s. I outlifted the majority of people. I was outlifting plenty of guys 2 weight classes heavier than me at comp. So again, even from a powerlifting perspective, you can tell people who see certain lifts in a certain light, oh, that's not an impressive lift. You can tell they've not been to powerlifting meets. Because I can tell you honestly, the overwhelming majority of competitive powerlifters do not have a 500 squat. Just putting that in perspective. And I have a 600 squat. But the point here being, comparing ourselves to other people, it breeds excellence. It's one reason I tell a lot of guys out there, well, go do a powerlifting meet or two. Go do a powerlifting meet. That'll help get you focused on getting really strong. Even if powerlifting is not completely your thing. Even if you're competing in other sports. That competition, that comparison will make you excel. Also, just like I always say, if you join, the fastest way to get to a 500 squat is to join a gym where everyone has at least a 500 squat. You'll get there in no time. It's the environment. It matters. Comparison matters. But you know where else comparison matters? Knowing where our weak links are. Okay, knowing where our weak links are. I'm not just talking about the big 3, and I do this with my lifters, and I've said this before. I put up on my wall a lot of my other lifters hitting various max lifts on my private Facebook because all of my clients are on there. No matter how many I have at that time, whether it's 20, 25. It's the number I'm usually between. I'm usually stay right between those two numbers. They all can see each other's stuff when I post it up. I send it directly to my other lifters. You know why? I want them to compare themselves to them. If I have a lifter, if I have one guy who has a max bench of 300 and another guy with a 320, and he wants to catch that guy, not only do I show him his lifts, I'll send some of their accessory work. I'll be like, okay, what's your max incline? They'll be, I don't know, 215, right? Like, but this other guy with a 320, he's got an incline of 260. So not only is he out benching you by 20 pounds, he's got 45 pounds on you on the incline. Look at this. Maybe we need to get your incline up to 260. If you want to catch this guy, you want to pass this guy, you should probably get your incline stronger than his. And we can do that with accessory work. You know, we can look at what someone rows. And as a coach, this is valuable feedback for me. I'm used to comparing my lifters. When I've had an enormous pool of lifters, because I don't only have current ones, I have tons of former lifters. I have large amounts of data to pull from. I'm able to see the trends. And I'm able to predict where people are going to mess up by comparing their supplemental lifts to each other. So if I as a coach do that, and I know that, for example, when I look at sumo versus conventional deadlift, I know which one a lifter is going to be stronger at by watching all their supplemental work. I can watch their box squats, their rows, their good mornings, glute bridges, all these other lifts, and compare, and I already know whether they're going to be stronger on sumo or conventional. For example, based upon that. Now, some people are built for one versus the other, but a lot of it is muscle balance. I can tell you someone who box squat in good mornings a lot, but is weak on rows, they're going to be stronger on sumo. I already know that because I see it repeatedly. You can compare your lifts to other people. And that's something I always point out, especially when it comes even to muscular development, because where do we get our strength? Well, 90% of our strength comes from our hypertrophy relative to our limb lengths. When we say levers, we're talking about how long your arms, legs, and torso are. That's what we mean by levers. Your accessory work is what puts muscle on you. It's what gets you thicker. So what about if you just want to look bigger than someone else? Let's take it a step away from what I do, which is strength. Well, you got this buddy and he's just got these bigger chest and shoulders than you. Well, let's come back over, use the incline again. Okay. And he can do 10 rep sets with 205 on the incline bench on a 45-degree incline. Okay. And you only do 155. Let me ask the question. Why is his chest and shoulders bigger than yours? Or you jump in and say genetics, gear, whatever else. Well, those are probably factors. But you can look at his strength on those lifts and know. You know why. And if you want to catch him, because tension and workload are where we get hypertrophy. Okay, that is where it comes from. Well, if you want to catch him, maybe you need to be working on getting your incline bench up another 50 pounds heavier for your 10 rep sets. Okay, comparison to other people is good. It breeds excellence. People who say don't compare yourselves to others, that is a mantra of losers. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.